Dear friends of CPAC Hungary, thank you for your kind invitation. Unfortunately, the electoral campaign for important local elections, the last one before the imminent national legislative elections, prevents me from being reviewed physically, but I still wanted to be present with this video. Let me send a special greeting to Max Schlapp and then Schneider, who many years ago welcomed me into the CPAC family and who have over the years worked harder and harder to make CPAC a central event for American conservatives and more recently made it a globally exportable format. I'm particularly pleased that there is an European CPAC, and for this I am especially grateful to Miklos Chanso and the Center for Fundamental Rights for bringing it to Hungary. It has been time of difficult time for Europe ever since the Russian aggression against Ukraine, and we must not hide the fact that this tragedy is leading to divisions, unfortunately also among nations with friendly government and within the conservative bloc. The mistakes of the European leadership in recent decades to embrace a bureaucratic and ideological approach has woken us up from this long sleep, powerless and defenseless in the face of a real threat. We have found ourselves without a common foreign policy, without a common defense, with a very severe energy overdependence, with a food crisis at our doorsteps, and with very lengthy value chains due to the fact that in recent years labor and production have been relocated outside Europe. And since this impacts differently from nation to nation, it was inevitable that the reaction to this situation would bring out divergent national interests, especially according to the level of energy dependency. To these problems and persisting to ensure that the effectiveness of the response is not hampered, we cannot respond with each hunch. We must give a concrete political and economic response so that all Western countries have the strength to sustain their economy. We are glad for US citizens to hear President Biden say that this war will not affect them. Perhaps our friends in the US might disagree with that, and it certainly cannot be a sufficient response for those who will suffer heavy consequences. That is why we, for example, are calling for the EU to set up a compensation fund to support the most vulnerable nations and for financial institutions throughout the free world to participate in this fund. If, as we fear, someone is in Beijing, even more than in Moscow, thinks of this war as a first step to build a new world order, then they must find an equivocal and supportive response from those fighting in the realm of freedom and democracy. Because it is in this field that we want to be. It is in this field that we want to fight to affirm our conservative values and defeat the woke ideology that is destroying the foundation of our societies. It is in this field that the alternative to autocracies is built, all the more so when they make themselves strong, instrumentally, by defending traditional values. This is our challenge, and this is why I will devote all of myself so that once the war is over, the conservative field can return more united and more to defeat those who bear the gravest responsibility for having brought Europe and the West to its current condition. Meanwhile, we will continue to fight for the European institution to respect the sovereignty of the peoples of Europe and their legitimate democratic choices, and to stop instrumentally targeting governments that they consider not aligned with their mainstream. This is not acceptable. It has never been in the past, and it is all the more intolerable now that we need to strengthen European unity and not to consume political vendettas, such as those that have been waged against the Hungarians for years. And I want to send my warmest greetings to the Prime Minister Viktor Orban, recently reconfirmed with a huge success as the best defender of his people's interess. if in Brussels as well as in Washington it is not understood that today this unity requires the ending of instrumental political wars and the implementation of concrete measures in support of the most vulnerable nations, we will risk losing the popular support and the great fellowship that Europeans, and in particular Eastern Europeans, and among them the Hungarians, have shown towards the Ukrainian people.